AMD, and our recently announced Graviton processor, which is an ARM-based processor that can be up to 45% lower cost for your scale-out workloads. In the past years, we've also added lots of capabilities, including the ability to run bare metal, the ability to directly attach an SSD, enhanced networking. We've also had the ability to elastically attach resources. For example, elastic graphics, elastic inference, and elastic block storage. Now let's look a little more deeply at containers. Amazon Elastic Container Service is a highly scalable, high-performance container management service that supports Docker containers. And it allows you to easily run applications or manage clusters of EC2 instances. With ECS, you don't actually have to deal with any of the infrastructure, or any of the container orchestration, or any of the virtual machine clusters. This is all managed for you. And because it's designed from the ground up to work with the rest of AWS, it's easy to build containerized applications. And we've taken this one step further with AWS Fargate. AWS Fargate is a compute service for Amazon ECS that completely removes the need to manage EC2 instances at all. With Fargate, you focus only on your application. In fact, you don't deal with any infrastructure. You can launch and scale quickly and easily. You pay only based on what you use, not on the overall size of your cluster. This allows you to spend more time building and more time innovating, which is what you really want to be doing. AWS Fargate runs tens of millions of customer containers every week. And last year, we launched Amazon EKS, a managed service that allows customers to run Kubernetes containers, but without the hassle of having to build and manage and update their Kubernetes masters. EKS is tightly integrated with AWS, and it makes AWS the best place to run Kubernetes. We're not doing this alone. We're contributing back to Kubernetes community and working with our partners to make it easy to run Kubernetes for everyone. EKS is also certified Kubernetes, ensuring compatibility. And any major change that we make to EKS goes upstream before we release it in EKS as a service. Customers are doing amazing things with containers. Singapore-based customer engagement and loyalty SaaS provider, Perks, analyzes customer marketing campaign data in real time, turning data insights into actionable recommendations. By running on Amazon Aurora and EKS, it's improved app performance, data loads, and shortened marketing campaigns from planning to launch from 12 weeks to under a day, increasing their user engagement to 83%. Finally, let's look at event-based computing, which we pioneered with Lambda. But it's not just Lambda that you need for event-based computing. To build a truly serverless application, you need support for serverless computing from a broad range of services. Lambda integrates with over 47 AWS services, which is several times more than any other cloud provider. You'll notice monitoring and logging up there. You'll notice identity up there. You'll notice communications. It's not just functions. It's not just managed services. It's a complete serverless application platform. And since Lambda lets you run code without provisioning or managing servers, and it integrates with so many AWS services, it's become a central hub for event-based computing. It's this breadth and depth of the AWS platform that allows you to have absolutely zero focus on infrastructure. And that's why it's a fundamental shift. Serverless computing lets you focus on the things that bring value to your customer, not on the infrastructure, not on IT management. And to help you get started building your own containers and serverless applications, we have a broad range of resources. When we first built these tools, we were mostly focused on EC2 instances. But our customers asked us to start supporting containers and Fargate and serverless computing. This is why Code Pipeline supports both Lambda and Fargate. And you can use the same tools regardless of whether you're running on instances, containers, or serverless. And developers are used to working in environments where they can easily replicate what they're doing in the cloud on their desktop. But how do you debug a Lambda-based application locally? AWS Cloud 9 includes a full create, step through debug, and deploy experience for serverless applications. And we're taking the steps to meet developers where they are today with toolkits for all the most popular IDEs. And even though we're launching these toolkits to help you with serverless, these toolkits also work with instances and containers. Serverless is happening everywhere, and it's happening at scale. A great example of an AWS customer that is both migrating their applications to AWS and re-architecting is the Certus Group, one of the 5 commercial auxiliary police forces authorized to provide armed security to government organizations as well as companies and individuals. They have started their digital transformation journey last year and have chosen AWS. Serverless is a big part of this transformation. And here to tell us more is CK, Group Technology and Operations.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning. I'm pleased to be here and to share the transformation journey of Certis. Certis has always been the leading physical security provider in Singapore and a key player in the Singapore cash ecosystem. We started in 1958 as a subunit of the Singapore Police Force and then became the statutory board Cisco, and hence the term Cisco Guard in 1972. We were privatized in 2005, and technology capabilities and services were progressively added over the years. Today, Certis is a smart user of technology, and we have been awarded 28 technology-related patents. I'm proud to say that Certis has evolved into an advanced integrated security company. Revenue grew from 200 million to 1.2 billion, a 6-fold increase over 13 years. In 8 countries, key markets are Singapore, Australia, and Hong Kong. Globally, we are 34,000 strong and 16,000 in Singapore. Besides physical security, Certis is the recognized global leader in providing aviation security. We have more than 3,000 staff in Changi Airport, and Changi was ranked first for security at ASQ Worldwide for 3 consecutive years. For technology services, Certis provide both security as well as smart building technology, and it is the largest CCTV installer in Singapore. Over the last 3 years, Certis has been undergoing a deep transformation to prepare for the future. We now combine advanced security, integrated services, facilities management, and guest management into a holistic service underpinned by technology. We call this Security Plus. It is powered by smart operations where we integrate technology and operations to deliver multi-site smart operations. We also leverage on a human-centered design thinking approach to develop optimal solutions to complex problems. Security Plus allows companies to rethink their old silos of security, facility management, and guest management, and to reimagine these silo operations into a single seamless service. For example, major transport hubs, government establishments, and shopping malls count on us to deliver excellent customer service and security at the same time. Our approach has seen a 20 to 30% decrease in manpower deployment. This is significant, and most retail malls are now our customer or in the process of engaging Certis. The next phase of our transformation is digitalization. We need to digitalize the core. We want to create a digital twin of our corporate admin as well as our ground operations. Digitalizing them end-to-end will give us better data. Using this data, we'll be able to reimagine our customers' journey and redefine what problems we are helping them to solve. To do this, we need to be agile, fail fast, but learn faster, and be able to scale quickly. We need a good and reliable cloud provider. But which cloud should we use? Like a typical Singaporean in the new neighborhood food center, when you're not sure which food store is the best, you join the one with the longest queue. So we started engaging AWS last year in March, and we like what we saw. It is reliable, 3 availability zones in Singapore, comprehensive, more than 150 services, a full suite of automated security services, and most important, AWS meets our audit requirements. Then, how do we move to AWS? Do we lift and shift, re-platform, or re-architect? After some workshops with AWS and prototyping, we decided to re-architect our existing ground operation apps first. It was a bold move, but we needed to rebuild our legacy app quickly, and we needed Argus quickly. What is Argus? It is our next generation officer support system, part of our effort to create a digital twin to reach out to 12,000 operational staff. It has a dynamic task management engine, facilitates analytics and optimization, and is AI-enabled. Argus allows us to break down security routines into tasks so that we can get a better and deeper operational insight into our officer activities. It allows planners to redesign tasks and to streamline operations, and also allows to leverage on AWS suite of AI services to build AI into Argus. Argus is a cloud-native app based on the microservices architecture, completely serverless with ECS, Lambda, SageMaker for AI, GuardDuty for security, SQS and SNS for messaging and queuing. We have implemented Argus in one of our business units, and initial feedback from users were encouraging. We now have better situational awareness for our supervisors. We are now more agile, and we are rolling out new features every 2 weeks. The rollout to the rest of the business unit in Singapore, Australia, and Hong Kong will be done over 2 years. And the benefit of deploying on AWS are up to 30% shorter development time, 70% less operation and support, up to 10 times lower security costs, and highly scalable to hundreds and thousands of sites in our 3 key countries. Transforming an organization is always a difficult task. Hence, I was tasked to form the Group Technology and Operations Division to drive this transformation. The Argus team was our commando team, the spearhead. They lighted the torch and showed the rest of the guys what amazing things we can do on the cloud. But we need to bring the rest along with us, and that was more challenging. So we're doing it in 3 progressive stages. First, migrating to the cloud. We prototyped to test load on AWS last year. We are now about to complete our landing zone design, and in a few weeks' time, we will start to migrate. So by end of this year, up to 60% of our workloads will be migrated to AWS. In year 2, we will focus on efforts to re-platform and re-architect our apps. The biggest challenge has always been people and culture. First, it was winning the key stakeholders over, and this was made easier with the certifications of AWS and a large client base. We also need to educate, retool, and reskill our staff. And we are working closely with AWS to conduct training, and by end of this year, up to 70% of staff will be trained. We also conducted various technology awareness workshops for the entire service management staff, which is about 1,000, and specific training for our senior management team. Then there's also moving from the on-premise mindset to a cloud-first mindset, and that was more difficult than expected. So constant engagement with AWS staff and sharing of experience from our Argus development team made the difference. And finally, integrating operations and technology is no easy task. It requires deep integration between our rich ops experience and advanced technology. In addition, we have to re-engineer our business processes and develop creative solutions. To do this, we must partner our customer. We need to co-innovate with them, and we cannot do it alone. Here, the agility of AWS will allow us to experiment, innovate, and learn quickly. In conclusion, by integrating all this together, you will enable Certis to deliver Security Plus to all our customers. We are excited by the opportunities, and we look forward to working with AWS in propelling Certis ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, CK. We're very excited to see how serverless is a big part of Certis's journey. All right, we talked earlier about how important it is to have the right tool as a builder. Well, it's also important to be free of relationships with abusive tool providers. If you look at Oracle and Microsoft, they're expensive, they have high lock-in, they're proprietary, neither are customer-focused, and sometimes they're downright abusive. Forget the fact that both of them will constantly be auditing you and finding reasons to fine you, but they also make erratic decisions overnight that seem very good for them and less so for you. People are sick of it. And because databases are such a critical part of your application, it's hard to build when you can't be sure if your database provider is going to prioritize their goals over yours. And this is why customers are moving so quickly to open source database engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MariaDB. But many of them want the open engines with the customer-friendly policies and portability, but with the performance of a commercial old guard database. And that's why we built Amazon Aurora. Amazon Aurora is a MySQL and PostgreSQL compatible relational database built for the cloud. It combines the performance and availability of a high-end commercial database with the simplicity and cost-effectiveness of an open source engine. And because it's MySQL and Postgres compatible, you can easily migrate your MySQL or Postgres applications to Aurora with standard import-export tools or using a snapshot restore functionality. And it also means that the code, applications, and tools that you already use and are familiar with can be used with Amazon Aurora with little or no change. It's also several times faster than MySQL or PostgreSQL, so you can easily scale your database deployment up and down as your apps need more and less performance. And it's at least as durable and available as the old guard commercial offerings. It offers greater than 99.99% availability. It has fault-tolerant and self-healing storage. It's continuously backing up your data to Amazon S3, and it transparently recovers from any storage failures without you needing to do anything. You can also back up to within seconds to a previous point in time, which allows you to recover from logical user errors. All this at 1/10 of the cost. Amazon Aurora is still the fastest growing AWS service. And one of the reasons Aurora continues to grow so quickly is the pace of innovation and delivery. We've launched about 35 significant features in the last year alone, and it's part of the reasons that customers are coming to Aurora in droves. Using Amazon Aurora, Dow Jones shortened the load time of market data from 8 hours to 3 hours. The company migrated its market data system from Microsoft SQL Server to Aurora MySQL and is using AWS Database Migration Service to replicate data nightly. And while relational databases will continue to be a popular choice for many applications, as I talked about earlier, the move to microservices is driving the need for purpose-built databases. And no one has more purpose-built databases than AWS. There are some apps that need to store and retrieve key-value pairs in large volumes with millisecond-level latency, and they want to scale up without needing to worry about the performance and scale limitations of a relational database. For those customers, we have DynamoDB. Other applications need to access their data even faster in microsecond-level latency. And for these, we offer Amazon Elasticache, a managed in-memory store for both Redis and Memcached. And some apps need to store semi-structured data as documents. They require content management or mobile integration. For these, we offer DocumentDB. And then there are applications that need to enable millions of users to query and navigate relationships between highly connected graph data sets. For these, we offer Amazon Neptune. Other applications need